Was at the hands of a group of teenagers is speaking out. They're calling for justice for their beloved Simi as police search for the attackers. Our Shawnette Wilson reports.
Must-see video we're about to show you. It is certainly painful to watch, but police say it could help them identify a group of children who they say attacked an elderly man, causing his death.
I just don't understand it. What's going on in our city?
Surveillance video shows a group of kids chasing behind a 73-year-old man, attacking him with a parking cone. One of the kids is seen recording it.
He's walked that path for 60, 70 years of his life, and for his life to be snuffed out like that is just unbelievable.
Tanya Stevens says the victim is her uncle, James Lambert Jr. It happened on the 2100 block of Cecil B. Moore in North Philly, near the YMCA and MLK Rec Center. It was after 2:30 in the morning on June 24th.
They couldn't have been any older than 14. How are you out at...
What's up, YouTube? It's Rochelle Tannen. It's July 9th, 2022. It's about 9:20 p.m. on the East Coast. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. I'm chilling this weekend. I have a busy weekend next weekend, and this week it's going to be busy. So that clip you saw at the beginning of this video, that's 7 juveniles here in Philadelphia that just beat a 73-year-old black man by the name of James Lambert to death. They're still looking for these kids. I just watched another news story, and yes, I'm using the word kids because when I see stories like these, and I watch a lot of news, I read a lot of comments that call these kids monsters and this and that and the third. And don't get me wrong, these little kids are off the hook these days, because to me, at almost 42, Lord willing, a 17-year-old is a kid to me. So this is a travesty in a lot of different ways, on several different levels. I'm going to start here. I believe in the good Lord. I'm no saint. I've done my fair share of shit. I've had to learn hard lessons on and on. But I believe in the good Lord. I believe in husbands and wives. I believe in what used to be a nuclear family. I have posted something to the effect of this news story. You can check it out online. James Lambert is the man's name. This is what happens when the baby mama lifestyle is co-signed and there's no fathers to be found. And these children aren't taught about the good Lord and traditions of old. This is what you get. And the first person to respond back to me in that comment thread, and I know it was a woman. I know it was a woman. And I know it was a black woman, because the first thing she posted was, well, tell the fathers to take care of these kids. Let me explain something to you baby mamas out there. You baby mamas have messed up the game for us single women and married women. So I have told men I've dealt with that don't want to deal with the kids they made with some funky tail broad. I have told them to you need to take care of your child, you need to do this or do this, that, and the third. See, I'm past that point in my life because I don't have any children. But I've dealt with men with children. All kind of men. And when you're talking about black men are a trip, but hey, you chose them. There's a difference between playtime and lifetime. And see, I'm not one of them Negroes that let y'all get by, but I was young. Because if these kids' ages range from, they said 13 to about, I think, 16. So that means their parents, they're my age or around my age, maybe a little younger. You guys, you've been told for a while, the way you've been raising these children, that it's not going to end well. And I blame a lot of the older people than me, my parents' generation as well. Y'all play a role too, because y'all been co-signing your children, people my age or around my age, having children but not having to be responsible for them. A lot of these older baby boomers and things. Now here it is, that they killed that guy sometime at night, late at night. They're roaming the streets like a pack of wolves. And I've seen this in Philadelphia. Hell, a couple months ago, I ran out to the drugstore because I had some womanly issues. I had to go out around 10 o'clock. I was cursed out by an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, dirty little kids. It was fairly late by the time I got back because I hopped the bus to go there. And these kids are outside, no supervision. They haven't been fed. They're dirty. One of the little boys that night, I got cursed out. The little girl cursed me out. I had her brother there, and he wanted me to buy him some chicken from Crown Fried Chicken. I did some thinking about that video with the McDonald's too, and some of the people that put shit in my comment section talking about, it ain't his responsibility and all this. Do you know how many kids I've come out of my pockets for in the hood in my life? And I don't have no responsibility to these kids. I don't even know these kids. I've been buying kids shit in the hood since I was a young woman, because I know what these kids are up against. If that's the fucking case over a hamburger, those kids that killed this man, more than, number one, where the fuck are these kids' mothers and fathers? I am so sick and tired of black people, and I ain't talking about other ethnicities, because yeah, y'all got some baby mamas too, and let me preface this. I know a lot of white people, Asian people, and Hispanic people, and this goes across the color lines, but I'll always start with black. They're getting sick of raising y'all's kids too, because I've talked to the old people of other ethnicities. They're getting sick of y'all not growing up. But a lot of you black people, it's even worse, because we're such a small part of this population here in America. So where are these people? Where are these children's mothers? Now I'll put money on it. If you meet any of those children's mothers, they'll tell you how great mother they are, and it's the music, it's the father, it's the this and that. No, most of this is you. From who their fathers are and to the way you rear them. And a lot of people my age are having the hardest time growing up. They just don't get it. You don't get it. Y'all crucify your parents about smoking crack and what they did not do. And a lot of you motherfuckers out crucifying your parents, you're still living with them. And I don't mean to laugh, but I have an ill sense of humor. You're still living with them, borrowing money. They're raising your kids in a lot of cases, or babysitting them, or helping your grown self out. And you still crucifying them. But when it comes to your kids, no one's supposed to say anything. As I was saying about the hamburger and that brother, yeah, that's a modern day brother for you, and all you modern day brothers and women, because y'all women are boneheads just as much as these men. If all it takes is a cheeseburger to be a good father, then I'm a better mother than most of you heifers, because I bought kids meals in the street. Here in Philadelphia, down south, up north. Not only just meals, I've given women money for diapers, standing out in front of the store talking about their kids ain't got no diapers. Now, I don't know if this shit's true or not. I don't know if it's true or not. But I was taught like this. Once I give you money, it's none of my business what you do with it. If someone asks me for help and I have the right feel about that person, they could be lying through their teeth, but that's no longer my concern. But I've bought kids meals in the street. Now, these little knuckleheads are running around here late at night, no mother, no father to be found. And you can't blame this one on the rappers, because they're not these people's parents. I don't think you can blame music and all that but so much anyway, because all these iPads and all that stuff comes with an off button, much like a television. And it really amazes me when I hear my peers talk like this is serendipity how these children are. And even some of my peers' parents, because a lot of baby boomers they don't really want to accept the role they played in all this nonsense, but you did. You played a role. Now, but on the other hand, like I was told by a 65-year-old woman yesterday, there comes a point in time you can't blame your parents. Because even some of these crack-addicted parents, recovered parents stuff, they even try to tell a lot of y'all. And now your kids are so terrible, I don't even think some of y'all can control them, some of you mothers. I know you can't. You can't control children when they have no respect for you. You can't control children when you're making your way out on a Friday night instead of sitting your black ass at home and taking care of the children you brought into the world. Your daughters can't respect you when they've never seen a solid man in the house. I prefer real fathers, but I'll use y'all's term father figure. And I'm not talking about a fly-by-night brother. I'm talking about a brother that picks up the slack and is with you securing your home. Y'all, your daughters haven't seen that, a lot of them. And your sons, y'all, after they hit 12, 13 and start getting erections and shit, y'all can't control them either, because from what I understand, from what I've been told from men, with puberty, and if you took a simple health class back in the day, with puberty, boys get this thing called strength. And I don't care what you hit them with and all that stuff, which you shouldn't have to hit a 12, 13, 14-year-old butt so much, if at all. But boys get something called strength. So you can't control them. Your daughters don't respect you. And this is what we get. 73-year-old black people, because this man was black. It wasn't a white supremacist who beat this man to death. And I'm noticing more and more kids across this country from hood to hood are just beating up the old people and robbing them. And nobody sees a problem with this shit. And to be quite frank with a lot of people out there, in America right now, black people, y'all got more stake in this than I do, because these are your parents and grandparents getting knocked over the head and killed. There's a $20,000 reward for those kids, and no one's turned them in yet. I find this to be very disheartening and very scary. Now, as my 42nd birthday approaches in August, I'm going to start going out and things, but it won't be here in Philadelphia. Too much stuff's going on. 2 cops just got shot at the July 4th fireworks show. Cops, they got shot. This 73-year-old man gets beat just walking. And it's not just in Philadelphia. It seems to be around the country. People are just getting killed. And what's really bothering me, I'm seeing young people doing this killing. It's no longer just the boys. These little girls are just as much off the hook. There's no code, no rules, no nothing to anything. Philadelphia right now is putting in a curfew for these children, but I guess the curfew isn't going that well because it was late when they killed this man. 13 years old, my parents knew where we were. If I have a 13-year-old, I'm gonna know where the fuck they are at night. That comes with being a good mother. And I've said it, and black women, I am tired of them being, no matter what they do, and black men too in this instance, getting praised for just being parents, even if they don't take care of their children. And the proof's in the pudding. I'm not making this stuff up. The clip's at the beginning of the video. This is becoming... I'll be damned if I'm going to be scared of some little goddamn kids. And then what's really messed up is if you check one of these kids, you may end up dead, or their mothers or fathers want to come shoot you and whatnot. You know, years ago, I used to say, when I got here in Philly, and I used to say it before I lived in Philly, women used to tell me, one of the first thing that comes out of a lot of black women's mouth when their kids are little is how bad they are. My mother, I never remember my mother in the 16 years of having her in my life calling me bad, or any of my sisters for that matter. My mother used to have a saying, call them bad and that's what they'll be. And when 10 years ago, when these kids would have been 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, I used to tell these women in the street, don't call them bad, that's what they'll be. And now that these kids are older, I notice with a lot of these baby mamas, when the kids get older, all of a sudden their kids are perfect and they're good and they're straight A kids and they're going to college and blah, 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 blah. How is that when you were calling them bad 10 years ago? And I used to say that to a lot of people, a lot of these women. I don't anymore. My new thing is, oh, you know that little Negro better than I do, because all that nuclear family talk and all the dad talk and all that sounds real good and looks great online, but a lot of y'all ain't gonna have that. Your kids will never know what it is to come from a 2-parent loving black household. I may never get married, I may never have any children, but at least if I die, my father signed my birth certificate. My father signed all his daughter's birth certificates. I did a piece on my comment section of men telling me what I can compare to and what I can't. I absolutely can compare you men and you women because a lot of you men should be here to check these women and check up on your kids. You're just as much as fault as the mothers. No one knows where these kids roam in the street and kill a 73-year-old man. A man that probably fought for this country. Y'all always talking about racism and white supremacy and all that stuff. This man lived through the civil rights era and whatnot. And he meets his demise from some little kids throwing cones and beating him to death. I'm disgusted. And I'm going to keep talking about these issues and reactions and all that good stuff, because we're about to go into some very interesting times. And on that note, I'm out. I'll talk to you guys later.